Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of StarCraft Inc. Huh, let me take this down just so I can whip it out again. That's what she said. And this game is between nAni and RGNartist. Now, nAni was the guy that I cast not too long ago. I did some research. I didn't know who he was at first, but it's Complexity MVP Tails. Now, whatever that name means, because that's like a mixed match of like 3 different people. That sounds like Star Tails. That sounds like Complexity Crunchers. That sounds like the MVP clan. So that sounds like 3 clans at once. I don't know who that is, but that's what he's officially called, Complexity MVP Tails. So with that, take what you want. So, and his opponent is the Teal Terran RGNartist. Never heard of this guy either. So I learn the players as I cast them. I don't really have time to watch the big tournaments, so I don't learn players that way. But when I cast a player, I never forget them. So as I cast more games, I will get to learn people more thoroughly. So guys, don't hate for me not knowing. I'm sure there's a lot of guys that I know that you guys don't. So forgive and forget. We'll just sit back and enjoy this game. It's going to be a good one. Opening the production tab for you. So what's going on with this game? I'm not really sure. This is Tal'Darim Altar, that's the map, and you could spawn in any corner on this map. That's one thing that a lot of players are really happy with, is that on a lot of the old maps that are short distance, the short distance spawn location has been eliminated, so you cannot spawn close distance. So what that means is there's only 2 places out of 4 places to scout, because obviously you spawn in one, that eliminates that space. The close distance to you is eliminated, and then there's only 2 left. So you can find your opponent much faster by process of elimination. Whereas this map, you could spawn in any corner other than the one, of course, that you spawned in. So it takes a long time for both players to find each other. It's a long map, regardless of what spawn location you've spawned in. And so rushing is, unless you're 4-gating them, like this is a great 4-gate map. And a lot of players are hating on 4-gate. They're like, it's too powerful, it's such a dirty thing. But I mean, every race has got that thing, right? There's some early Ling Roach pressure that's amazing from Zerg. There's that 1-1-1 Hammer Fist build that is really powerful from Terran. And Protoss has their 4-gate. And you know, each build has its downfalls, it has its weaknesses, and so players, guys, stop hating on each race for their overpowered, like their seemingly overpowered builds, because they're not overpowered. There's a way to deal with everything, and I mean, it's all about scouting. A lot of players, they'll scout, they'll see their opponent's base, and they'll be like, yeah, that's great, I scouted, check, and they'll check it off their list, and then they won't do anything with that information. They'll see exactly what they need to see, and they don't know how to read it. They don't know how to react. And that's the downfall of a lot of players, man. They scout just for the sake of scouting, and then they don't know how to use it as a tool. And it is definitely the most powerful tool in the game. It's why the pros get away with what they get away with. I had a Protoss. I was a Protoss versus Protoss. I had a Protoss try to 15 Nexus against me, and I ended his world. And it's because he watched nAni do it in MLG, and you know, you watch the pros try to get away with these ridiculous builds, and they do get away with it. You're like, well, why is that? It's like, well, because they scouted and they saw that they could get away with it. They know exactly what everything means. They're so hammered out, and it looks like a 4-gate is coming. And nAni is doing exactly what I said. This is a phenomenal 4-gate map because no one expects a rush. No one expects early pressure because it's such a long map. Now, Stalkers are not the best unit to deal with bunker wall-offs. They just can't tank damage. And if you're going to do a 4-gate against a fortified position, you absolutely need Zealots and Sentries. You absolutely need it. And now that there's Marauders out, there is nothing that nAni can do other than contain the Terran. But the Terran's already expanded, so there's still not much he can do. He's warping in a couple cycles of Zealots. Once those Zealots are in the mix, oh, look at this! This is terrible! And nAni is, oh, he's actually running by! He's gonna run by! There we go. So now that the Marines are out of their hole, the Zealots can be used to tank, and these Stalkers are now stuck in the back. Oh, we've got the low ground pylon! That's brilliant! The Zealots will pull forward and tank a lot of damage for these Stalkers, and this is what he needed to do. Oh my god, but the control is a little bit lacking. He's having trouble getting his Zealots in front. They're not tanking the damage he needs to do. Focus firing down the Immortals, or I always call Marauders Immortals. Focusing down the Marauders which is so key because those Marauders will skull fuck the Stalkers. And so the Zealots are actually able to deny this by tanking the damage, by dealing with those Marauders for the Stalkers. And he's doing a lot of, I don't know, I don't agree with some of the micro that we're seeing from nAni, but it seems to be working out. The Terran player is having a lot of trouble dealing with this. He's completely punished him for taking that fast expansion, and now we're seeing the second line being pulled to deal with these Stalkers. The Stalkers are just trying to do as much damage as they can before they go down, and finally, this aggression is cleaned up. It looks like we might see this. This Stalker needs to get out of there. It needs to back up, but it's just going to tank those SCVs with its face. And a single Zealot in the mix to... Oh, there's a lot more Zealots than I saw at first. Okay, so why are they running around in circles? No! What are you doing? Oh, okay, I see what's going on. He has A-attacked those Zealots, and because that was actually really brilliant on RGNartist's behalf, he just made the SCVs move around the Zealots but not attack. So he created a wall, and the A-attack command on the Zealots stopped them from trying to attack the SCVs and tried to go for the bunker, and it couldn't get through. There was no AI to tell them to attack the SCVs, so the SCVs were simply in the way. Very brilliant micro from RGNartist, and nAni did not react in time, used to being able to just kind of let his Zealots go and just micro the Stalkers. So RGN is forced to lift off this orbital command. I'm very impressed that he's been able to use the energy while microing what's going on here. We are seeing permanent pressure from nAni, really sticking it to RGNartist. RGN is trying to get this bunker up, and that is a good spot for the bunker to be. We need to see nAni snipe that SCV, but he's not going to snipe it in time, and we will see all the bio get into this bunker. He will focus down the SCVs though, so there will be no repair, and all the units inside that bunker are now vulnerable. nAni really needs another warp in of Zealots. He cannot deal with the bunker and the bio on the ground without another warp in of Zealots. Stalkers, I don't know if they were the right choice, but 2 Zealots might be enough to tank. I'm not sure. There are a lot of Marauders in this mix, and it's doing so much DPS to the Stalkers. And the Zealots, look at this. I just don't like the control of the Stalkers from nAni. I don't feel like he's playing this properly all the time. He's definitely wasting a lot of units here. He's doing so much damage, and I don't know how RGNartist can pull back into this game, but I mean, I feel like nAni could have won this even more one-sided than he is. But let me be honest, RGNartist is holding on so valiantly, and there we go. He has completely finished off that pressure, and now it's up to nAni to follow that up with something. And I feel like he's going for an expand. He is going for an expand. I don't know how safe that is, because you can damn well expect a counterattack from RGNartist. He's looking for that pylon. There's the pylon. And now he's going to mobilize his forces. I mean, RGNartist can't sit still. He has to. He's got this command center here that didn't burn down. He saved that, so he's not out of this game at all. Hell, 2 command centers worth of mules will definitely keep him toe to toe with the Protoss, despite how many SCVs he lost. If we want to take a look at the income tab, look at this. They are toe to toe, despite the fact that he's 10 harvesters to 25. The mules are keeping him in the game. In fact, he's ahead in mineral income and simply behind in gas. So that second command center is paying for itself. It is keeping him in this game. This bio ball here is going to destroy these Protoss units, and unless the Protoss player gets something out here, he is not going to be able to hold this off, and this counterattack is going to work. Look at the reinforcements taking SCVs alongside. I think the expansion was a poor choice on nAni's behalf. Once that early pressure did not work. Oh, good force fields. The Zealots are cutting up the front line of bio. The Sentry are being focus fired and doing a lot of damage to the bio. That was brilliantly done by the Protoss player. Those force fields are well timed and well placed, and this is forcing the Terran player to back up. And it looks like the Protoss player is in good shape now that this expansion is up. The tables, I think that sealed the deal. The fact that he didn't have stim, which is kind of a big deal when you're dealing with Protoss force fields. You need to get up in the Protoss's face and really wreck stuff up. And if you can't kill those Zealots fast enough, you're going to take a lot of damage and a lot of wasted fire onto those Zealots and not killing the Stalkers or Sentry that are really doing the DPS. So, I don't know what to say. This is going to be a close game. Any player could take this. I mean, I'm surprised that he hasn't put the command center into place and started to harvest. I don't understand that, but whatever. I'll leave it to the pros to make those decisions. And here we go. We are seeing the early pressure followed up with this two-base push now, tacking on more gateways. I'd like to see a forge out of nAni, but I don't even know if it's necessary at this point. I think that there is not enough here at all for the Terran player. These forces will be enough. Despite there being a bunker here, the force fields will make it impossible to repair that. Finally, we are seeing this command center landed, and really what RGNartist needs now is siege tanks, but I mean, there's no way in hell that he is getting siege tanks at this point. And he also needs, you know, upgrades and stem, and fuck, he needs a miracle. This is not looking good for the Terran player here. RGNartist is in trouble, to say the least, as nAni wanders up into his base. Force fields will go down, you can guarantee it, to prevent SCVs from repairing. But actually, those force fields, I don't know how well those were placed, but this invasion is just enough in brute force alone. We have a 70 supply nAni and a 37 supply RGNartist. Yeah, the bunkers are down. That's the end of this game, ladies and gentlemen. There's a single G game from RGNartist, whether that was intentional or not, and nAni has taken this game. I don't know what to say about this, but like I said, 4-gate is so powerful on this map because players get greedy seeing the long distance, you know, and that's exactly what happened here. So guys, I'm Mr. Carnum. You're watching StarCraft Inc. Remember clicking the ads on the video, next to the video, and on the video. That supports the show. It supports YouTube. Take a look at what the advertisements have to offer, you know? Alright, so I'll see you guys next time.